Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Big for the One Gaming here. Welcome back to episode, technically number 6 of our Zoo Overall franchise rebuild. Obviously, you guys can't see the record, so I'm going to let that be a mystery here. If you guys didn't watch the live stream, we did only win 1 out of 4. We lost to the Bucks in a heartbreaking fashion in overtime. We lost to the Texans pretty handily, 38-15. We lost to the Panthers 45-14 and the Dolphins. We did beat 21-17. We had 5 picks in the game, so it should have been a lot worse. But we just couldn't really do good, really, on offense-wise. So we ended off winning 3 in a row from the Jets to the Falcons. And we lose 3 in a row, and we beat the Dolphins. And then we had the bye week in week 12. Now this is where it's going to get a little funky. I decided to play these games off stream, recording-wise, and just kind of do an update video and seeing where we're kind of at. So the first game is against the Patriots. We win 38-17. We had an amazing game on offense. We had 24 first downs. We had 410 offensive yards. We had no turnovers. They had 2. Looking at the stats, Hurston, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. He got sacked 1 time. 24 for 30, so awesome game from him. Hubbard, 84 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. Delonte Slay also had a touchdown, and Hurston also had a touchdown as well. Receiving-wise, Rashawn Miller, 5 for 82. Gooden, 6 for 57 with a touchdown. And then Delonte Slay also had a receiving touchdown. And just kind of see here, DeAndre Thomas, 5 for 31 and 6 for 57 for Gooden. On the defensive side of the ball, Mitch Stokes led the team with tied the team with tackles with 7 with Wise. No sacks. We did only have 1. We had 2 tackles for a loss with Wise and Weathers. 2 picks on the day from Stokes and Delpit. So both safeties ended up getting a pick. But no safeties, no touchdowns. So that's going to do it for the Patriots game. Next up, we had the Jaguars game. This one was a lot closer. As you see, the really only main difference was the second quarter, where we scored 7 more points. That was it. We won 49-42 on a tough game to win. 432 passing yards. We only ran the ball for 22 yards because they were pretty much guarding us on the run. We also had a pick 6, if I remember correctly. Richardson almost had a perfect day. 13 for 20, 438 yards, 5 touchdowns. He did get sacked twice. Rushing-wise, really only 12 for 25 for a touchdown for Hubbard. I really don't know how I'm about there. But Rashawn Miller, again, had a fantastic day. 8 for 359 with 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Thomas, 3 for 64 with 2 touchdowns. And Noah Gray had 1 catch for 8 yards for a touchdown. Defensive side, Nakobe Dean had 12 tackles. Delpit had 11. We sacked him once with Lyle Monk. And we did have that pick from Mitch Stokes, which I believe was a pick 6. And we didn't have any fumbles. We did have 1 deflection from Delpit. That was pretty much it for the Jaguars game. I mean, pretty much it was an offense-heavy game. So after winning 2 in a row, we actually come back to win our 3rd in a row here late in the season. So we beat the Browns. We have 424 total offensive yards. We had 302 passing, 122 on the ground. Richardson, another great game from him. 302 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, 2 sacks, 21 for 32. Rushing-wise, Hubbard, 25 for 97 for a touchdown. Anthony Richardson also ran for 25 yards as well. Receiving-wise, Rashawn Miller, 2 for 90 for the touchdown. DeAndre Thomas, 7 for 89, 3 touchdowns. Again, this man is 6'9", so he definitely should be getting a lot of good stuff here. Noah Gray, 6 for 53. Gooden, 3 for 44. Brackett, Fox, and Hubbard all had a catch for a couple yards. Defensively, 7 tackles for Mitch Stokes led the team. We did not have a sack. We did not have a pick. And we had 4 deflections. Brooks had 2. Wise and Monroe had 1. Didn't force any fumbles. We didn't have any safeties. And we didn't have any defensive touchdowns against the Browns. So 3 in a row after that. And then reality struck. We had to face Kansas City. We had a lead into the second quarter. And then we lost it. We were down 17-7 or 17-14.5. We never decided. We couldn't come back. Defense was just insane. Mahomes, of course, 5 touchdown passes. But Anthony Richardson didn't have a great day. 308 yards, a touchdown, and 3 picks. Hubbard only had 57 rushing yards. He did have 2 touchdowns. But receiving, DeAndre Thomas actually had a good game. The same thing with Gooden. 4 for 120 with a touchdown. 9 for 109 for Gooden. Other than that, nothing really else to write home about. Even Rashawn Miller didn't have a great game. Defensive-wise, 9 tackles for Monty Wise. No sacks, no picks. We only had 4 deflections. No fumbles, no safeties, no touchdowns for the defense. After losing to the Chiefs, we end up losing to the Titans on a heartbreaking game. We needed to win that game to end up having a better chance for the playoffs. 218 yards, 1 pick for Anthony Richardson. Rushing-wise, 17 for 87. Richardson did have a rushing touchdown as well. Rashawn Miller, 5 for 67, 6 for 66 for Noah Gray. Gooden, 4 for 35. Hubbard, 4 for 34. Defensively, we had 8 sacks. Mumphrey led the team. It's not good when your corner leads for tackles. No picks, no fumbles, no safeties, nothing against the Titans. Final week of the season, we face the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we get stomped. Jackson, we had a 17-14 lead at halftime. We just couldn't finish the job. Richardson had a decent game, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Got sacked 7 times, though. Hubbard, 16 for 62 on the ground. Sean Miller, 5 for 91. Noah Gray, 5 for 47. Slay, Gooden, and Hubbard all had the receiving touchdowns. Defensively, Devin Mumphrey led the team with 8 tackles. We did have 1 sack from Zach Woodley, his only tackle of the game. No picks. We had 1 deflection from Amaro, the defensive tackle. No safeties, no defensive touchdowns. So if you were paying attention, we go 9-8 on the season. So we do make the playoffs. Surprisingly, we do make the playoffs. So the next video will be the 3 versus 6 against the Texans, who we've so far 0-2 against. But we did make the playoffs. There's 3 from the AFC South, with the Texans, the Dragons, and then the Jaguars. We'll take a look around the league too, kind of see where everyone was at. Of course, the Chiefs went 15-2. They led the whole NFL. Bengals went 14-3. Texans and Bills both went 11-6. Jaguars went 10-7, and us and the Raiders went 9-8. I guess we had the better points for, not points against though. But yeah, we got lucky to go in the playoffs. NFC wise, the Rams got the first overall seed. The Niners are a playoff, or technically a wild card. Cowboys led the East. Buccaneers led the South. And then the West, or the North, went to the Vikings, who are 8-9. So not a very good from the NFC North. How did the NFC North do? 7-10 for the Packers and Bears, 5-12 for the Lions, and 8-9 for the Vikings. So they make it going under 500. Checking the stats, too, of the season before we head into, obviously, so I've been having a lot of problems with my throat today. Anthony Richardson, 4,500 yards, 31 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, got sacked 34 times, not the best. Rushing-wise, 1,600 yards from Chuba Hubbard with 22 touchdowns. Richardson had 8 on the ground, and Slay had 1. Receiving-wise, Rashawn Miller had 2,000 yards receiving in the season, 12 touchdowns. DeAndre Thomas, 851 with 10 touchdowns. Noah Gray had 2, Hubbard had 2, and Gooden had 3. Really, DeAndre Thomas and Rashawn Miller was our offense. Defensive-wise, Stokes and Dean led the team with 106 tackles. Alex Samuel had 4 sacks. Branch had 3, and then a couple of 1s and 1.5s. Interceptions, George Brooks led the team with 6. He had 6 interceptions. Stokes, Mumphrey, and Delpit all had 3. Dean had 1, and Stallworth had 1. I'm sorry, Dean had 2. With touchdowns-wise, I think we only had 3 touchdowns. We only had 2 touchdowns. Stokes and Mumphrey each had touchdowns. We did not get any safeties. We had 2 forced fumbles from Carey and Lawrence, but no recoveries. So, other than that, our kicker did pretty good. But yearly awards, let's check that around. Mahomes was the MVP. Anyone? Nothing with the Dragons there. But Rashawn Miller did win Offensive Player of the Year. Hubbard was 2nd. So that's actually really cool to see. Defensive Player of the Year went to TJ Watt. We did have nobody in the top 10. Rookie of the Year went to Patrick Blankard of the Titans. I don't think we really had any too much. Yeah, we didn't have anything. Defensive of the year went to Mitchell Davis. We did have Samuel at 5 and Amaro at 9, so decent there. Best quarterback went to Patrick Mahomes. Best running back went to Hubbard. Best receiver, surprisingly, went to Jamar Chase, but not Rashawn Miller. He had 2,000 receiving yards. We'll have to look at Jamar Chase, see what he did, kind of how he got over us. O-line was Joe Thuney. Defensive line was Greg Rousseau. No Dragons to look at there. Linebackers went to TJ Watt. Again, nothing for the Dragons. Best DB went to Jalen Petre. I think that's how you say it. Brooks was number 2. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I am very terrible with names. And then Mitch Stokes as well. Best kicker went to Chandler Foster. So the Titans actually had 2 people, but yet we're last in our division, which is kind of funny. I'm going to take a look at how Jamar Chase did, because apparently wow, Burrow had 42 and 2 touchdowns, or 42 touchdowns to 2 picks. Wow. What did Mahomes do to win MVP then? He went 46 and 4 and had 5,000 yards. Yep, that'll do it. That'll do it right there. He only had 4,500 yards. Jamar Chase had only 1,400 receiving yards, or 1,500 receiving yards with 19 touchdowns. I guess he had 19 touchdowns to our 12 touchdowns, but we had 2,000 yards. So we had 500 more yards. So I don't know how he got the best receiver. But anyways, and also taking a look, final thing, at where the draft players are, or I guess college players. We'll take a look at all of your guys. Again, if you guys want to join in on this franchise, leave a comment down below, name, position, and it will get you in school, of course. Then we'll get you in to the draft class. Ace Peak is number 2, projected number 2. Casma is projected number 3. And then the last one, he's actually kind of fallen down a little bit, is Marshall M, looking at number 9, projected-wise. We'll also see the mock drafts. We do have 2 first-round picks, so we should have the second mock draft available. Of course, Casma is projected to go to the Saints. Peak's projected to go to the Steelers. And we're projected to get Luis Douglas at number 6. Of course, this isn't really the most updated one, but... And then Devontae Elliott there. So all of you guys are so far in the first round, which is really, really nice to see. To the Broncos, to the Steelers, and to the Saints. We'll kind of see how that plays out, though, when that happens. But that's going to do it for me. Again, on Thursday, we'll see the wild card game against the Texans. If we win, we move on. If we lose, we'll have the, it'll be of the full game, too. If we lose, we'll have the off-season video that Sunday. If we win, we'll have the division series and so on and so forth. But yeah, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm out. Peace.